Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Acupuncture's My Life. Now that I'm done going over what is yin and yang, what is qi, what is essence, and so forth, and the importance of yin and yang, the importance of qi, and the importance of essence, and I hope you guys have been enjoying Acupuncture's My Life Volume 1 album on this channel. Like if you're ever in your car, you just want to listen to it while traveling, Acupuncture's My Life Volume 1 is streaming on every music platform out there. So enjoy yourself listening to it and learn more about acupuncture so that you can make acupuncture a part of your life. Now, in this episode, I want to begin to jump into discussing diseases. And I'm going to start with diabetes. And I want you guys to always remember everything in life, but especially when it comes to your health, is about the balance of both yin and yang, okay? When those two get out of balance, there's usually problems, and you would definitely need to see an acupuncturist and make acupuncture a part of your life so that balance can be restored. But now when it comes to diabetes, I'm gonna focus more so on type 2 diabetes. Type 1 is pretty much considered an autoimmune disorder, and you're usually diagnosed with it at birth or shortly sometime after birth. It's usually at a young age. There are exceptions to just about every rule. But I get asked the question a lot. As an acupuncturist, how can you tell if someone may be diabetic, may have diabetes or type 2 diabetes? And there's certain basic patterns that an acupuncturist would see or notice during intake. Now, some acupuncturists work together with a physician, some don't. Now, I have tons of MDs in my network, and in some cases it does call for me to work together with them, and then in some cases it doesn't. Acupuncture alone can help individuals manage various disorders, all right? And it's not just acupuncture, but sometimes it may include the usage of herbs in the form of herbal formulas or even singular herbs, among other things. Because many individuals are unaware of the fact that acupuncture can treat many mental and emotional disorders, chronic illnesses, autoimmune disorders, and so forth. All right, so keep that in the back of your head. But I want to jump into some of the basic patterns that would set off alarms to an acupuncturist that particular patient may be diabetic. And one of the more earlier ones, I would say, is like intense lung and stomach heat. Now, there's a lot of heat in the lungs, there's a lot of heat in the stomach, and therefore it has the ability to deplete internal fluids. Now, when internal fluids become depleted, that's a sign of dehydration. And that's as a result of this intense heat that's in your lungs and in your stomach. And some of the symptoms a patient may present with is like this vexatious form of thirst, which is considered like polydipsia. And they'll be like dry mouth, and they'll experience a dry tongue. There'll be frequent urination.
That's okay. I know it's scary. Hector, run upstairs and grab a pair of sweatpants for Alan here.
I'm a 44 Slim. Can you bring me a few options?
Which is very excessive, very excessive. And in a case like that, like let's say an acupuncturist would look to clear out this heat from the lungs and from the stomach, sometimes with the use of herbs and sometimes not, all right? Another basic pattern that an acupuncturist may see is like intense, exuberant heat in just the stomach. Okay. Now, to an acupuncturist, this may be a sign of polyphagia, where an individual would quickly become hungry again right after eating. So all they want to do is just eat.
Perhaps a salad?
Perhaps not. I'll have the steak smothered in onions, a rack of ribs, pasta with extra garlic, French fries with lots of vinegar and a side of onion rings with lots and lots of sauerkraut.
And there'll be thirst.
I'm thirsty. Refreshing.
And there'll be signs of, or the patient would indicate that they urinate a lot. There'll be bodily emaciation, and there'll be these dry, bounding stools. Why? Because of the intense heat in the stomach. All right. So the large intestine has to have like a certain amount of fluid in it for the feces to pass through much easier. But when there's intense exuberant heat in the stomach, it absorbs the fluids, and there's this partial dehydration. And an acupuncturist will pick this up quick, and they may use herbs, they may not, to like clear up this heat in the stomach as well as moisten the intestines. Okay. And I want you guys to keep in mind, if you've ever gone to do your annual checkup with a physician and you haven't been diagnosed with diabetes, your blood sugar levels are great and so forth, it's never too late to start exercising, looking to change your diet, getting enough sleep, and relieving yourself of a lot of stress that you may face throughout the day. And this is why I'm saying to you a lot, well, I always say, whether it's in the Acupuncture is My Life podcast, or whether it's listening in the Acupuncture My Life Volume 1 album, or on any of our social media platforms, I always say, acupuncture should be a part of your life. Why? Because it's great, again, for treating mental and emotional disorders, stress, anger, worry, grief, and much more. Okay. Now, also in making acupuncture a part of your life, if you need to make those adjustments in your diet to help balance out yin and yang, nourish chi, nourish essence, nourish body fluids, and more. Okay. You don't have an excuse anymore. You could just simply go to acupuncturesmylife.com and schedule a virtual consultation session with myself or someone here at the Acupuncture is My Life clinic if you don't have immediate access to an acupuncturist. You no longer have an excuse. But I want to jump back into some of the more basic patterns that an acupuncturist can tell if someone is diabetic or not. And another can be due to chi and yin deficiency. Now, you remember when I said in the What is Chi episode that chi is synonymous, and I speak about this in Acupuncture is My Life Volume 1 album, chi is synonymous with sort of like energy or life force. It's like what gets you going, okay? And you can become chi or even yin deficient. Remember, yin and yang must be in balance. So when yin becomes deficient, yin is cold, okay? Now, if yin is cold and yang is hot, that balance keeps that 98.6 degree roundabout temperature internally, and we're feeling comfortable within our skin. But now if yin is cold and it becomes deficient, what's left? Yang, which is hot. So now with yin deficiency, there's going to be, you'll show signs of, let's say, excessive thirst, frequent urination, especially at night. And there'll be fatigue, and you'll be sort of dispirited, like walking around during the day, like, I don't care about anything, whatever, your spirit is really low. And the chi deficiency aspect would be signs of shortness of breath, because now your lungs, the chi of your lungs are deficient. Okay. It's not taking in, the right amount of oxygen and releasing the right amounts of gas. And it's the chi of your lungs that allows your lungs to perform this task. There'll be constipation because yin deficiency, remember, there's a lot of heat. So it's absorbing the internal fluids within the body. And now, your feces is stuck in the intestines, all right? You'll also present, or do you present with, or know someone that presents with a pale face, experience heart palpitations. There'll be some dizziness, and impaired memory can be another sign as well when there's chi and yin deficiency. Like you're forgetting where your car keys are, or someone asks you a question you know the answer to, but you can't remember it. That's a sign that your memory is impaired. Are you experiencing insomnia? Okay. Now we'll go right back to yin and yang. Yin also represents night. And at night, you should be sleeping. The body should be in a restorative phase. so that it can nourish yang during the day, the next day. So the hours of yin are from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. The hours of yang are from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m., you should be resting. You should be winding down, falling asleep, and going through a good night's sleep. So insomnia can be a sign of yin deficiency. All right. Go back to the yin and yang episode and look at it again, and everything will start to click. There'll also be like spontaneous perspiration and night sweats. You experience any of those symptoms? That can be a sign of qi and yin deficiency. Now, in a case like that, an acupuncturist would look to nourish, let's say, both qi and yin, okay? And restore yin back to balance with yang so that you can sleep well, alleviate shortness of breath, dizziness, restore memory, and more. Now, another pattern can be, let's say, spleen and stomach qi deficiency. Those two organs are my favorite organs. Why? Because the spleen and stomach is responsible or plays a heavy role in the production of qi and blood after birth. All right? It plays a huge role in the production of qi and blood after birth. But to notice whether spleen and stomach, the qi aspect of your spleen and stomach is deficient, you may experience signs of excessive thirst, reduced appetite, loose stools, abdominal distension, especially after you eat meals. And also, here's a key sign. Do you experience weakness of your four limbs? That being both your arms and both your legs, and constant fatigue. To an acupuncturist, that could be another pattern of diabetes or type 2 diabetes, where the qi aspect of your stomach and spleen is deficient, and an acupuncturist will look to fortify your spleen and nourish the qi of both organs. Okay, and we may use herbs, we may not. But let me ask you this question. Like, you ever experience, let's say, excessive thirst with a desire to eat and this feeling of nausea? That could be another pattern or sign of diabetes. Okay? Because that's a sign that there's damp heat that's obstructing your core. Have you ever experienced, let's say, an aversion to cold and a sense of chilliness in the abdomen area with fatigue and body weakness, shortness of breath, lower back and knee pain, or lower back and knee soreness with tinnitus? And that's basically ringing of the ears, with urinary incontinence and loose stools. This can be a sign that the yang aspect, remember yin and yang? Now we're talking about the yang aspect of your spleen and your kidneys is deficient. Remember, yang is hot? No, yang is hot. Got me on that one. Yin is cold, and it has to be in balance. So now what happens in this case now when yang becomes deficient? That means there's a lot of cold that remains, and that's where you'll experience the chilliness in the abdomen and the aversion to cold. Okay? An acupuncturist, that tells an acupuncturist that there may be a sign of yang deficiency, in this case being of both your spleen and your kidneys, which can be a sign of diabetes again. And there's some acupuncturists that'll send you to see your physician for confirmation. Some don't. I mean, in general, overall, we're going to treat it and we're going to help you manage what's deficient to get yin and yang back in balance. All right. Now, those are some of the basic patterns in which an acupuncturist can tell if someone is diabetic or not. But now, I must say again, if you want to continue learning about acupuncture so that you can consider, or strongly consider, making acupuncture a part of your life, just listen to the Acupuncture is My Life Volume 1 album on any music streaming platform. And if you also want to learn more, and I'm going to pin the album in the comment section, as well as I'm going to pin the newsletter. It's free. You can't beat free. I mean, it's nothing cheaper than free, I guess. You should subscribe to the Acupuncture is My Life newsletter. It'll be pinned in the comment section. And also, if you know of anyone, whether it's a family member or some type of loved one or work colleague or classmate that's experiencing these patterns or suffering from diabetes, share this video with them. All right. Not only does it help the algorithm, but you're helping that person that means a lot to you by educating them in ways in which they can benefit from acupuncture as well. But other than that, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. It doesn't hurt. And also, along with hitting the like button, make acupuncture a part of your life, because acupuncture is my life. What's yours?